Today, Rob, you and I are going to talk about, not Pokemon, we're going to talk about a kind of downer topic, I guess.
A real bummer.
Disney. Yeah, but an interesting one. I like how I always say that. All my videos are like, this is kind of a downer, but it's really interesting.
Well, hopefully. I hope you're never making a video where we go, this is not really interesting.
And
but I'm going to make
really
this video
sad
anyway.
And depressing. This was actually a question that I saw going around Reddit, and I thought, man, that's a thinker. And the question is, when will Disney World close for good? So this is like a hypothetical in the future. Yep. When will Disney World be no more? Like, what will happen that all the parks are gonna just shutter and we'll just never step foot on Main Street again?
Oh man, right? I think it will be 120 years. I don't know. That's a tough one. I think it's fair to say it will never happen in our lifetime.
It won't happen in our lifetimes.
Disney's too big of a company.
Yeah, and they're still, even though they have their ups and downs, they're still overall just doing so well. And there's, especially Disney World, I think we can speculate about some other parks. Like maybe Disneyland Paris hasn't been doing too great, but when we're talking Disney World, I think that they do so well that they don't have anything to worry about for a long time. So nobody freak out. It's not happening in the next 10 years.
4 weeks from now.
But
here's the thing. We say that, but it's also worth remembering that in 1985, Disney was actually at risk of a corporate takeover.
That's true.
And that's what Michael Eisner and Frank Wells saved. And so 85, we're talking a little over 30 years ago. And Disney was in the exact opposite. So would it be a stretch to say in 30 years they could just make just a perfect series of poor decisions and end up back in that spot? And I think even in that scenario, what you won't see is Disney World close for good, but what you'll see is Disney World become something else, or not owned by Disney, or owned by a new parent company that then, ruins the magic of Disney because they don't understand the Disney way. I think that's more likely than to see it just shut down for good. It's too big now. It's like saying, when will New York shut down for good? Could it?
I mean, apocalypse.
That
was my legit first thought. Was okay, not even zombie situation, but I don't know, World War III and everything gets nuked and now there's no more Disney World. Or I mean, I don't know. It would, or the hurricane to end all hurricanes in Florida. Not that I ever want to say that. A day after tomorrow situation. Yeah. I feel like it would have to, to me, for it to be something sudden like that, all of a sudden it closes, it would have to be some sort of serious damage happen to the parks that they just wouldn't be able to rebuild. Yeah. That's the more realistic. And I see realistic,
day after tomorrow, realistic.
but that's a good point. I think the only other way would really be if some other company took them over and changed the park so much that people refused to go because they felt like it wasn't what it once was. Then maybe, and that would still be a lot, a lengthy amount of time from takeover to closing. But I could see it happening.
Now, what if I throw this idea out there? Because we're talking about the idea of a company changing Disney to the point where nobody wants to go. What if people naturally just don't want to go anymore because other options are out there? What if in, say, 100 years or so, space tourism becomes the new thing? Or, go gamble on the moon like Pluto Nash, and then the appeal of going to Central Florida is just dead and everything tanks.
But do you think that Disney won't capitalize on that? So maybe Disney World does close?
Well, sure, they might. Yeah, but then there'll be Disney Moon. Disney World Moon.
Disney Space.
And then Space Mountain's going to be it's going to be called the Earth Mountain.
No, they're going to bring back Disney Infinity, but Infinity as in space. That's what it's going to be called.
Nothing will bring back Disney Infinity because that is dead for good.
Oh man, I love the idea of Space Disney now. I feel like we need to do a whole other video on that.
I have in my mind for years thought, imagine if Disney were one of the pioneers of space tourism and they started with Bravo Centauri, the space station from Horizons, They
Of course,
named it
of
after
course,
that.
of course. You did
And
that.
I think that would be amazing, and I would book a trip immediately. I would put my life into their hands, literally, to go visit Brava Centauri.
Can
in
it be
space.
like a Disney cruise where, like, when I'm on that shuttle, there's like characters and stuff?
So basically like Lost in Paradise in The Fifth Element.
Yeah.
Just like a Disney cruise line orbiting around
Yep.
Earth. Oh my God, that's a great idea. That one's a little less practical. Like, we can't expect Iger and company to actually act on it.
But they might pen it down for the future. You never know.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure the second they nailed out, I know they're playing with like expandable, inflatable space rooms
Yes.
out there. Second they can do like cruise ship size, I'm sure Disney will be all over it, and I'll be all over Disney.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. It definitely poses that question of like, has it grown too big to, that the term too big to fail? Is it, would the failing of Disney World be just a symptom of the failing of Disney as a company? And
Right.
is that even possible at this point?
Or day after
Because at the end of the
tomorrow.
day, if they run into problems, couldn't they just like sell Marvel, sell Star Wars, sell Pixar? Like, just pick one of them and just get that cash flow, and then they're back into it, and
Yeah.
then they diminish. Like, it would be a monumental failing as a company to grow beyond the point where there's anything they could do to save themselves, and
Yeah.
they have to like close the parks or sell them.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess the good news is probably not soon.
Yeah. Basically, we don't have to worry about it. So, whatever.
When do you think now? And I don't want to like expand it to a whole other topic, but do you think there will be a day where one park closes permanently? So not all of Disney World, but maybe they're like, you know what? We're gonna close.
Yeah,
that
it
park.
would probably be Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, probably would.
Just being honest.
I'm gonna go ahead and not shed a tear about that. I don't know. Why am I being so mean? to
I don't
Animal
know. You've
Kingdom?
been
It's
really
just
harsh
growing.
to
It's
like all
growing
my
worse and worse.
videos. I'm just gonna
I
track
do
it.
I kind of enjoy it, but for some reason, this like online presence, I'm just getting crueler
I'm
and
just
crueler
gonna cut
against
all
Animal.
of your anti-Animal Kingdom rhetoric together, and I'm gonna do
And
like
what?
a smear
You're gonna mail
campaign.
it to Joe Rohde and just like
The smear campaign of Rob Plays. How dare he
Rob
say the things he
says
said?
he hates the Animal Kingdom. Does that mean he hates animals too? Vote for IvyWinter. She loves animals.
I do. I have a cat. Prove it.
No, I don't have a cat. Ugh. I do have Pokemon.
Yeah, we gotta
They're
go
like
back
pets.
to catching our Pokemon.
I seriously, daylight's burning,
I
and
know.
there are only so many Pokemon in the world to catch.
For real. Alright, well, thank you guys for tuning into another video. If you have thoughts on when you think Disney World will close for good, I'm really interested to hear what those would be. So, leave them in
We're
the
gonna open a betting pool, so like leave specific dates.
Yeah. Leave them in the comments below. You can also tweet us. I'm at IvyWinterYT.
And I'm at RobPlays.
And if you want to see more Disney videos, more, go to Rob's channel because it's amazing. And he does all kinds of interesting Disney stuff. He does Minecraft Disney stuff, and he does Disney Tips with Rob and Christine, which has been revived.
It's back from the dead, hopefully with the old intro. If
Yeah.
not, I don't know. I gotta have to figure something out.
For real. But anyway, thank you, Rob, for joining me for another video. And I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. Go catch some Pokemon.
Catch them all. That's what the motto is. Don't catch some of them.
All. Bye.
Bye.